Welcome back to Conversations with Archbishop Kurtz, segment 2. And what a treat we have for you, because we have 2 young adults for this segment to be interviewed. I want to say, first of all, welcome to you, Emily Robison. You'll be telling us a little bit about yourself, but I know you're a student at the University of Louisville. And a special welcome, too, to Jim Wolkensperg. And Jim, I know you from many years now with young adult ministry. Thanks for being here.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and what it means to be a young adult. We stretch young adult, I guess, from age 21 to 39 at this point. So, Emily, did you want to start?
Yeah, sure. I'm actually, like you said, a student at the University of Louisville. I'm a senior, and so I'm really involved in the campus ministry there, and that's really been a big part of my involvement with the church at this point. I started out as a freshman. I got really involved in a group we call First Year Faith, where we get all the freshmen together, and it's a really, really good opportunity. And from there on out, I've been really involved in our community there and on the leadership team, and involved in a lot of the different activities that our ministry does.
So you really got involved when you got to the university because of campus ministry.
Correct.
Now, tell us a little bit, though. You come from Oldham County. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I grew up in Oldham County. Lived there my whole life. Went to Immaculate Conception Catholic Church there. Basically,
were you active in the church? I'm not checking up
yeah,
on
yeah,
you.
No. My family definitely did a very good job of raising me in the church, and it was definitely a very good opportunity, but I didn't get really involved in the youth ministry there. So my real involvement with people my age in the church came whenever I came to college.
How about that? So we'll go back to that a little bit to find out what made the difference with you getting involved, because that's important for us to know. Thanks, Emily. And how about Jim? Would you give us a little bit of your own background, where you came from and what your current situation is?
Yes, Archbishop. I actually grew up in Louisville, but I grew up as a Protestant. And then I went to a Catholic college, a liberal arts college in New Hampshire, and really encountered Catholicism there. And the truth and beauty of the faith attracted me to it, and I couldn't resist. And when I had a semester in Rome, I converted while I was there.
Wow! So you were in Rome, where you were drawn close to Christ and to the Catholic Church.
Right. It was really awesome.
Wow.
And then I went to a Catholic law school, became a lawyer, and joined the Army to be a lawyer for the Army. And that's taken me all over the world to a certain extent, but it brought me back here to Fort Knox, and so now I live in Louisville again, and it's been great to be back part of this community again.
Now, you got to tell our audience you just got married not too long ago, so tell us a little bit about that.
I did. I just married my beautiful wife, Vera, in July, and it's a dream come true.
So this will be your first Christmas as a married couple.
It will.
That's wonderful. Well, listen, thanks both of you for being here. In a special way, I think people are curious. We have set out in the Archdiocese of Louisville to say that in part of our strategic plan, young adults are people we have to reach out to. Pope Francis keeps saying, don't wait for people to come to you. Go out and accompany people from where they are and lead them to Christ and His church. So tell us a little bit, from your own perspective, what's the church doing right? What are some things that you can say, boy, I'm so glad that this was something that I experienced in the outreach of our Catholic Church? Who wants to start?
I can start, I guess. I think I've been a part of the Louisville Young Catholics group, and you
were there from the beginning almost, Jim, no?
It started before I got there, but it really started to grow more around the time when I got there.
Good.
And it's been great to have that, because I lived places without any kind of young adult presence. And
we may want to put that on the screen, by the way. So you, Louisville Young Adult, say it again.
Louisville Young Catholics.
Yeah, I always get it wrong. Louisville Young Catholics, and we'll be able to put some contact information, because there might be people saying, gosh, I wouldn't mind finding out more about this.
Right, we have a website and we're on Facebook, and that's actually how I found it. When I was moving back to Louisville, I just Googled Catholic Young Adults Louisville, and it popped right up.
Wow.
And so then I started going to their functions, and it's been a lot of fun, a lot of great people involved. So that's definitely something that the church is doing right. I think people like you mentioned, Pope Francis, John Paul II, people like that, we have a lot of them in Louisville too, who, like John Paul II said that life with Christ is a wonderful adventure. And people who live that kind of passion for the truth and beauty of the faith, are attractive to everybody, and it works for young adults too.
Yeah, that's great. So it's the witness of the faith, and you mentioned the two wonderful popes, but also the fact that there's a yearning inside of people, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah. How about from yourself, Emily? What would you say?
Yeah, I think, Jim mentioned too that he really encountered the faith in college, and having that presence on campus is a really, really great outreach. Thank you for assigning a full-time priest to our church.
Yeah, Father Chuck doing a great job.
It's been wonderful having him there full-time, because I can't even tell you, like, just sitting there during the day, like, seeing people that maybe don't even come to Mass that walk in and say, hey, is there a priest here that I can talk to?
Oh.
And it's like people that, it's very convenient for people. They don't have to go out of their way. It's very accessible to people that might not go the extra mile to find it. Obviously Jim was searching for a Catholic ministry to be involved in, but having a presence on the campus, that's what really it makes it very accessible and very easy for
Think back,
people.
you're a senior. Think back when you were a freshman. What was it that connected you? Was it someone who knew about the ministry, or did you see a sign, or what? How did you end up?
Well, on our Welcome Week package, we were told that there was a Catholic Mass at 5 o'clock, and I was like, all right, I'm Catholic, I'm going to church. And
so the message is,
Right.
read your welcome package, right?
Yes, yeah, and so, I started going there, and, I heard about the different things going on. I have a wonderful roommate. It was really a blessing because we were random roommates, and we're both Catholic, and we both kind of pushed each other, and we're like, all right, let's go do this together and see how it works. And finding those people that are holding you accountable, and really forming that community. That's what keeps a lot of people involved in the church.
Both of you are such good representatives of giving. No, I mean that, of giving great witness. Now, we're not doing what we can. I mean, we're supposed to be a missionary church, a church with a missionary outlook, meaning we don't wait for people to come to us, but we go out and seek people where they are. What can we do more? What would be some good advice? Not just for me. Now, I mean, I'm busy already. However, you might have some things that I can do as Archbishop, or maybe the local parish can do, or give us some. What comes to your mind?
Well, I think just one thing that I found coming to college is that if people aren't actively seeking the faith and searching for a group to be involved in, then it's hard for them to get involved. And sometimes if it's just more convenient for people, it's more accessible, then they're a lot more prone to be involved.
Okay.
I think
So visibility.
Right,
is
and
one
so
thing.
these big transition periods from going from high school to college, that's a really big point where we see a lot of people don't continue on their faith. The other part is, now being a senior, I start to realize this. You see people that are seniors in college moving on and graduating, that they're kind of in a struggle where they don't know what to do, where to go, and where to get involved. And so that transition period, unless they're like really actively seeking a group to be involved in, it's really hard for them. And so working on those transitions and making these groups like Louisville Young Catholics known and accessible to young people, I think that's a really, really big beneficial.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is a great insight about letting people know things. I sometimes wonder if people think you have to almost be perfect to be a witness. And yet, really, it's accessible to many people, isn't it? I just think about someone who's getting involved, maybe in the periphery, talking and letting their friends know. Just as something that could be done. Is there a way that we can make that grow in some fashion? In other words, are there people that you run in contact with? I'm thinking, Jim, you're involved as an attorney and whatnot. How hard is it to talk to people about, let's say, your involvement within the church?
It depends. Since I work for the government, I don't talk about my faith too openly.
Sure, I understood.
But I think people know because I mention it, and I'm not in your face about it. But with my friends here, since I grew up here, and I've got family here, I can invite them to functions, and they might not be interested in all the speakers we have at different events, but they might be interested in a music night, or they might be interested in a game night or something else. And so it's easy to invite people to those things.
Yeah.
I think at parishes, some parishes might have a lot of young adults, some parishes might not have very many, but just not forgetting about whatever young adults you have, because the family life is so easy to integrate into the parish life, but young adults are often, like Emily said, in between,
Yes.
being part of their family they grew up in and starting their own family, and so it's easy to forget about them. And just not forgetting about them, making sure that they're welcome, whether it's in the Knights of Columbus or whether it's in a Bible study or whatever, and making sure they feel welcome in those things, even when they're all
One
by
of the
themselves.
things you said over and over again is invite.
Right.
And that's a wonderful thing. We have just a minute to go. I'm sorry to have to tell you this. But Emily, also, you gave a great witness. Just the way you spoke, I could see that people would be attracted to come and be part of that. What is your hope for continuing now reaching out to young adults?
My hope is that in these transition periods when people are falling away from the church, that we can reach out to these people and welcome them in and make them feel like they have a home and a family in the campus. I've done co-ops out away from Louisville, and that's where I've found a home, is being in the church and being involved in other campus ministries. And so I just hope that other people can find that same comfort and home in the church that
Wow.
I've found.
Wow.
So.
Well, listen, you both, in your own unique and individual stories and journeys, I'll call it a faith journey, you've shared this publicly, and you're great examples and witnesses. So I want to thank you on behalf of the church, Jim and Emily, for your willingness to share. And boy, I'm enthusiastic about how many good things are happening within the church. And those of you of our viewing audience, thanks for being part of this segment, talking about young adult ministry and the great opportunities that are within the Catholic Church. As you look for opportunities to invite others, or if you're a young adult, please Google, as Jim did, or be open to welcoming packets, as Emily did. We definitely know that there's a place for you within the Catholic Church. God bless you. And stay tuned now for the third and final segment of Conversations with Archbishop Kurtz.